This is my favorite segment we got, you guys. It's called This Week in Freight, powered by my friends over at DAT. And this has everything to do with reading the market, studying where it was, where it's going, looking for those peak seasonalities in those trend lines to be able to bring that out to your guys' customers. So today's lane, Atlanta, Georgia, Columbus, Ohio. I've been hearing a lot about freight in the reefer freight specifically, and they were, it was primarily inside of the Midwest region. But I had somebody tell me, look at the Southeast. And again, like these are all 100% viewer submitted. So if you guys want to get in on this, I need you guys to email my team, podcast@thefreightcoach.com. I just need shipping city, delivery city, and trailer type out there. But this one, you guys, as it shows, Atlanta, Georgia to Columbus, Ohio. And it's a great week to be a refrigerated carrier because just based on my public school math, this is damn near $5 a mile, what we're seeing out there right now. And it's probably going to be like this for quite some time. It sustained that. If you look back, it sustained the big fuel push out there that happened back in March, right? So it kind of remained at that $3 a mile mark here. It stayed there in April as well. But then as you can see, it spiked in May, and it's continuing to roll out there. Now, historically, produce season, all right, starts in the Southeast and it migrates up the coast, all right? So it starts in Florida, works its way into Georgia, Carolinas, Virginia, stuff like that. So follow that produce belt and you're going to see it will pretty much go up in unison. But like right now, what's different is like rates are just up across the board out there. So I look at this, and again, since when we're bidding on freight, you guys, the first thing I always look at is that miles. This is a great weekday run, but anything after Friday is going to be exponentially more expensive. That Friday to Monday thing, and it doesn't matter the trailer type, right? Like drivers like miles over the weekend. So that's why you see that, and you got to be able to portray that information and present that to your guys' customers. But like I look at what we're seeing right now. We're at $2,500 on this lane currently. And, again, you got to be careful when you're pricing out refrigerated because it's not a one size fits all that you see out there because in my opinion, there's three classifications of refrigerated freight. You have your temperature controlled, you have your fresh, and you have your frozen. You need to be aware of that and you need to quote accordingly with that. I might not move a lot of food anymore, but like I've moved a lot of food grade shipments in my career. Like the first 7 years of my career, that's literally all I did was food and beverage into every major grocery retailer out there. And that was one thing that we always kept in mind. So it's like you can take this baseline as a piece of information, but you got to understand the rate might be different if it's a frozen load as opposed to a fresh load because it burns more diesel, everything else. There's always a reason to quote more money that you see out there. But I think most importantly right now with this spike, I think this lane's probably going to continue to rise, as I think most lanes are going to continue to rise throughout the summer months. I think we're going to see a real summer push on freight rates that we've seen in years past that we maybe haven't over these last 4 years in itself. But, again, we got a couple weeks and then we're already going to be seeing 4th of July. So again, like you got to look at that from a demand perspective. Maybe the holiday itself might not cause a spike in rates until it comes closer to it, but you're going to see a lot of 4th of July freight that is going to start cooking if it hasn't already. And, again, there's going to a lot of these are going to have must arrive by dates out there. So you're going to see some of those spikes in pricing that might not necessarily be capacity driven or fuel price driven out there. So pay attention to those things when we're in between holidays, because especially in the food and beverage sector, and I'm bringing this up for refrigerated freight in particular here, is there's a lot of 4th of July and holiday pushes for sales in these stores, right? So there is going to be an increase in inventory around those times because everybody's grilling, everybody's drinking beers, blowing up fireworks, and doing all those other things. So there's going to be a lot of promotional freight that's thrown out there. So you're going to see like an upward trend in freight rates here around the summer. Generally, that's when you see it. Again, if you've never been through one of these style of markets, that might sound foreign to you, but those things, you got to plan for that. And you got to present that stuff to your customers because trust me, somebody out there is doing that. And again, right now, the trucking hand rate is going to be exponentially different than how you've operated in the past, right? You might not be as confident in taking on as much volume as you may have. But like at the end of the day, you guys, brokerage is as simple as this. The person with the truck wins. You got to present options. Like no matter what, you got to present options to your customers and get that freight moving. But I think this lane in particular is going to continue to rise throughout the summer, specifically as we're going to go through the 4th of July holiday. So if you're in a spot market situation, you're in a very good position with your customer. If you're in a contracted rate, like I said yesterday on Drive In, you're probably begging for a rebid if a rebid hasn't already been initiated from your customers, because they all know what's going on out there. That is This Week in Freight, powered by my friends over at DAT for the Reefer lane analysis. You guys, this is Atlanta, Georgia to Columbus, Ohio. And if you want in on this, like I said, you got to email my team, podcast@thefreightcoach.com, and we'll break it down on the show. At the end of the day, you guys, I'm just here to try and help you guys read markets on what I do inside of my operation, because I actually move freight. And like I'm going to continue to mention, you guys, I don't use this as a lead gen opportunity. I pay for plenty of lead generation software that's way more granular than a basic shipping and delivery city out there.